Sometimes mindfulness can be perceived as a deep and serious practice. We want to clear our minds of thoughts, sit quietly, breathe intentionally. However, the times that I've found that my mind is most free of chatter and that I'm fully present is when I'm playing or engaged in something really creative and just adventurous. And so today, during the Mindful Bird Sit, we're going to see what it's like to explore the world through the lens of our inner 6 year old and see what occurs when we give ourselves permission to just play. Hey there, thanks for joining the Mindful Bird Sit. If you're new here, my name is Kristi, and I help people connect deeply with birds and nature while boosting their skills, elevating their confidence, and helping them to fall more in love with life. If that's something you'd like to do, please consider subscribing and sticking around. You can also join any number of my online courses like Identify Any Bird Anywhere. All right, let's get started. I was thinking about what I wanted to do with you all today, and I had some nice music on, and so while I was listening to the music, bopping around, and I thought, you know what? I think having fun and just playing is a really good approach. And what it reminded me of was two things. One is that oftentimes, some of the times that I've felt the most connected and had sort of the most, I just connective experiences is when I've been playing, when I haven't been taking things too seriously. And I think sometimes when we think about mindfulness, we can think about it in a serious way. You know, we have to be quiet and clear our minds and all this kind of stuff. And not everyone does, of course, but I think sometimes it can have that sort of tone. And so today I thought of bringing a more playful, like 6 year old kind of a tone to our practice today. So the other story I'll just share really briefly with you guys is that I was teaching the instructors at the Boulder Outdoor Survival School. It's some of the most badass instructors for wilderness survival that there are. And they wanted to learn about bird language. And I had them do this exercise, teaching them fox walking and how to be stalking and kind of quiet in the forest. And and they just seemed like really rigid and kind of stiff and whatever. And then I told them, I said, all right, you guys, now I want you to do this. I just had this intuition. I was like, all right, let's just take on, like, pretend like you were 6 years old. And now I want you to go and fox walk. And I swear, some of them literally became invisible. Like their bodies softened. Everything about them just had a more gentle approach instead of this like rigid approach. And I thought, yeah, like those guys are going to be the ones who are invisible in the forest, not the ones who are like trying to stalk and be all sneaky and whatever. So, yeah, so just I thought that it'd be really nice to bring that a presence or that approach to what we're doing today. So I'll of course give you guys some guidance and some direction with what we're doing. And today is going to be it's going to be everything: ears, eyes, however you want to, feeling, whatever you want to be. You might even get up and just start walking away. Who knows? Exactly. You might start dancing. Who knows what you're going to do? So feel free to do whatever you want or need to do today. If the mood inspires, then just go do it. So let's first begin by grounding ourselves and just bringing ourselves into the present moment. So take a nice deep breath in and then let it go. And just let yourself be soft in this moment, soft and receptive. So just receiving whatever there is, whether it's sound or smell. It might even be thoughts. Just allow them to come and receive them. Kind of like everyone's coming to this party that you're putting on and you're just letting everyone in the door. You're like, oh, great, come on, you too. Oh, you too. Hey, you're here. Great, come on in. Just receive everything that's around you right now. And then we'll shift our attention inward to our own bodies, seeing if we can bring that same presence of mind, that same welcoming to our bodies. And so you can do a scan of your body. Let's first start with our toes. So down on our feet, Go to the soles of your feet and just welcoming every little bit of your feet that you can think of right now, your toes, the soles, the heel, all different parts of you, all the veins that run down there in your feet, the bones, all the bits and pieces of you. And then I'll let you guys do the next part in silence. So you're going to slowly just work yourself up through your body, going through all the different areas of your body, welcoming, inviting them all to be present, to be just playful with you today, allowing them to be just as they are. So we'll let you do that in silence for the next moment or so. Welcome, Gabrielle. We're just taking a moment to ground ourselves, to connect with our own bodies. So just take a moment, take some breaths. And you can start with your toes and end at the crown of your head, becoming familiar, playful, and just having a good time with your own body today. Receiving all that she has to offer. Good work. All right. And so now we'll bring some more intention to our ears. So noticing the sounds. How about we'll start with the most prominent ones? And again, from that playful, welcoming place, just whatever the sounds are that are the loudest or the most prominent, the most consistent in your landscape right now, and just welcome them into your space. And then we can shift to a sound that's a little bit quieter than that one. So explore the landscape for sounds that are quieter than the most prominent. And now you can go down even more, even a bit more quiet than those. Beautiful. And so now slowly starting to stretch out with your ears, listening for the real quiet ones. Maybe it's on the insect level, maybe a whisper kind of sound, maybe the hum of a motor, whatever it might be, but the quieter sounds on your landscape right now. Lovely. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes, still being attentive to the sounds. Maybe there was a sound you heard and you were curious about it. You can just notice where that one's coming from. And then finding a point off in the distance to look at. Let your eyes focus on that point. And then slowly starting to allow your vision to expand further and further and further outwards. Seeing how far to the right, to the left, you can see right now, while still looking at that point in the center. And then remembering to include above and below. And it's okay if your eyes want to get soft, maybe your vision even gets a little blurry. Just allow that to be. And then start to pick up on all the other different sights that you might not have noticed when we first started, because now your eyes and your vision are soft. All right, beautiful. So we're going to begin, and what I'd like you to do is, as you're looking and listening out there at the world today, do so with the presence of mind, or just the lens that a 6-year-old might. Maybe it's you as a 6-year-old, maybe it's just a generic 6-year-old. But whatever it is that you're seeing today, bring that sense of play, of carefreeness to how you're looking at whatever it is that you're seeing. So we'll stay in silence for the next couple of minutes, just allowing yourself to explore the world with the, I guess, intention, with the playfulness of a 6-year-old. You can take a moment just to notice how you feel, notice your breath. Notice if anything has shifted or changed since we first started for you. Maybe as a 6-year-old, you don't really care, and that's just great. So let yourself stay in this beautiful 6-year-old place and keep exploring the world around you through your ears, your eyes, and whatever other senses you want to include. Notice if there's anywhere on your landscape that you're being pulled, whether it's your curiosity, and just let your mind wander in there. So if there's a particular place you're curious to explore, you can either get up and go do that right now, or just with your mind, you can imagine what it would be like to just let yourself, in a very carefree way, just go explore that area. Maybe it's to climb the tree, maybe it's to go crawl on your knees and get dirty and not even care, right? So just that 6-year-old mentality that doesn't really pay too much attention to the details. Just let yourself be in that place right now. Nice work, everybody. Well, it's like time to come back in from playing. We can still be our 6-year-old selves for a little while if you want to. So, any friends that you made today while you were on your adventure, please just thank them. Let them know that you're grateful for the interactions and whatever it was that occurred for you today. I'm actually gonna give my computer a little break from the heat and go take her back inside. So give me just a moment. I won't let you guys have to, don't have to watch the process. Here we go. All right, so for anybody who has to go, of course, it's always lovely to have you here. And but if you need to go, please take care of yourself and thank you for coming. And if you want to stay, then definitely stay for our chat. And I'm going to turn my video back on in just a second once I get myself situated here. All right. There we go. My computer was getting really hot out there, so I had to bring it back inside. Okay, so who would like to share their experience today? Is that Susie's hand going up? Woo woo! All right, yeah. Let's
I
hear.
want to go first before I forget what,
Okay,
what I
good.
wanted to say. So, started out with how my when you said to let your organs play around and be happy, I gave them permission, and it felt like all my organs were thanking me for, for letting them relax and I felt them kind of moving, and they it was like they woke up in a good mood. You know, that's the feeling that they that I experienced. Then I heard my two. I have my windows open, so I am like outside. It's really nice here now. So I heard my first uh, the two birds, the wood pewee and and my little bluebirds that are like 10 feet away outside. And then we started to feel like a 6 year old. I have a 6 year old granddaughter, so my first thought was, now what would she do in this situation? And I know, and she goes, if she sees something, she goes, Nana, look, Nana, did you see that? She gets so excited, I still get excited like that. So then she will she will run and just just be free and happy. And then I started thinking about when I was 6 years old, what was I doing? And when I was six, we had a we had a big pasture. This was in Missouri, so anyone from the Midwest will relate to this. Um, I would go out by myself, and so this was what in the 50s, and so there were all they aren't on TV anymore, but there were a lot of cowboy and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Indians. So I would pretend that I was an Indian. I would wear my moccasins and
Oh no, we lost Susie for a minute. Susie. Oh no,
go
it's like,
down.
wait, we lost you for a second at moccasins. Could you tell us the part you said you would wear your moccasins and then what?
I, yeah, I would be really, sort of like uh, how they would walk, like an animal would walk, like
Mm.
really quietly, not making any noise. Don't step on a stick. like I'm searching for something and being very quiet so I don't make any noise. I'm pretending like I'm an animal,
Mm-hmm.
actually,
Mm-hmm.
the way I thought that Native Americans would
Mm-hmm.
be. And oh, that's pretty much it. It was really a fun experience. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. My pleasure. And well, I mean, only because you decided to engage with it, you know? Yeah, well, I won't say any more, but thank you, Susie. It's really beautiful. Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Who else would like to share? Linda, go for it.
Well, I had a really interesting experience. It's a beautiful day here. It's cooler in the mornings, but it's supposed to be hot today. But when I first came out, and I was trying to hear things, I heard nothing in the yard at all, and I just heard some distant construction work. I thought, oh darn, there's no birds around. It's getting late here, and in the summer, and birds are already migrating out. And but then it was interesting as I sat there and relaxed and thought with and got into my 6-year-old mind. All of a sudden, I heard sounds in the yard, the birds. I thought, well, how cool! Now they're here, um, and it kept on. And I also heard a noise in the distance, a sound. And I thought, oh, that's some kind of an engine. So I just blocked it out. As I realized, as the sounds of the birds got more noticeable in the yard, that it wasn't any change in the birds. It was me. It was me opening up to listening, to hearing them. And I have gotten so good at being well, I've really tried to train myself this because of all my years of work in healthcare, train myself to focus on what I need to do. If I need to be mindful, I need to block out all the extraneous stuff and just, you know, do my mantra or whatever. And I didn't realize I'm missing the bird sound. I was missing the bird sounds. They were always here, but I blocked them out. I was able to block them out, which isn't such a good thing when you want to listen to the bird sounds. And then I heard the sound that I thought was a engine, I just dismissed. It wasn't. It's the day insects all tuning up, the locusts, and it's the insects. They're still out there. I was like, oh my gosh, what an important thing to learn. How I mean, I guess sometimes it is important to be able to. Well, I know that it is. It was in my work to be
Yeah,
able to just focus on what you need to do and do it
yeah.
without letting everything distract you. But it can be a real deterrent
Mhm.
um, to mindfulness, or to really being able to appreciate and connect with Mother Nature and the birds specifically. And I heard several migrant. I'm pretty sure I heard an evening grosbeak that was in the yard. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, it was very cool to discover that. So now I know I just have to make like a 6-year-old and I can hear the birds better. The
Yeah.
simple answer, simple solution.
I know, right? It really isn't that hard. It's like our breath and be a 6-year-old, you know?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's awesome. High five, Linda.
Thank you.
Love that.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
yeah, sure thing. Sweet. Who else would like to share? Yeah, Anne, go for it.
Well, I turned on Merlin real quick here, just like you do sometimes, just to listen. And I looked over and it was flashing goldfinch, sedge wren, kingbird. And it was like, what? And then I realized when it happened, it was the goldfinch mixed with the cicadas, which was picking up and but it kept flashing those three birds. And sedge wrens are uncommon here. I'm not saying I would never hear one, and I do have, but I'm not hearing a kingbird. And then that made me think childish of, well, remember those books that you used to have with like the three, and you change the flaps and change the monster's face. You'd have a head, the body, and the feet, and you would flip the pages, and you could create different monsters with the different pages. And I thought, well, what if I did that with my bird? would I give him the kingbird's head or tail? And he had to have the goldfinch body because that's just so. And I'm thinking, oh, gotta have the wren tail. Yeah, so maybe he's got the key. Yeah, so that's what I was doing. I was changing the parts on my bird. So
That'd be an amazing book. I mean, for
oh,
like a
we could do it
kid.
with bird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
imagine
Where's
that, like a book
that
where your kid would have
Gabby?
to like make
Where
it
the
be like, oh wait, there's the goldfinch, and oh, that's a funny one, or like, oh look, and now there's the kingbird, and like, nice idea, Anne.
oh boy,
Your
somebody's gonna
next $1 million idea.
I guess. I guess. So and
Wow.
we'll sell it along with Gabby's book on dreams. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. It's good you guys have
your dream bird. Yeah.
high five. Oh, cool. Thank you. Awesome. Who else would like to share? Any other 6-year-old adventures? Yeah, Anne Marie, go for it.
Well, it's much cooler here because we finally got rain last night in like a month, and everything's like rejoicing. Just when I, so the birds are playing. The hummingbird was just like way up in the sky, like going from feeder to feeder, like it was guarding it. So I was like, are there any more around? I was like, he's like the playground bully out here right now. It's like, where are the other ones that can sneak in? And then the mourning dove like crashes on the porch, and I was like, okay, uncoordinated friend. I was like, looked at me, flew away. They're just relaxing. The deer came a little closer to the edge of the woods where they were nibbling on things, and I'm like, wonder what they're eating, and how does it taste, things like that. Because when I taught kindergarten, they would see so many things, but they were like squirrels, they went from one thing to a next, so they could see a lot of things, but their attention span wasn't as long. So I kind of tried to do that, tried to be like flitting around and noticing as many different things. So that was fun and very relaxing. So thank you.
You bet. Yeah. The other story I meant to tell you guys beforehand that I forgot was on my 40th birthday, I went camping with a friend, and it was in this incredible canyon in Utah. It was on a friend's property, but it's like super private, but they had like their own petroglyphs on some of the rocks and whatever. No, it was still in Colorado. Um, and so she was like, well, what do you want to do today? And I thought, I don't know. And then I was just like, you know what? I just want to play. I want to play like I was 6 or 7 or whatever. And so we just let ourselves be 7-year-olds for like 2 hours. And I remember this one point, we just like took our shoes because there was like water that was like trickling down the rocks and stuff. And I was like, I want to feel it. And so I just like took my shoes off and we just left them there. Like a 6-year-old would. They wouldn't be like, oh, I have to remember to bring it with me and like make sure I don't leave my stuff behind. It was like we just left them. I like didn't worry about like finding them again later. I just like left my shoes there and just like, got in the water, and then we like went to something else and did something. It wasn't like, oh, if I don't have my shoes down the trail, that might mean I won't be able. I just like let myself just fully be in the moment, fully be like, I think that's one of the beauties, like you're saying, Anne-Marie, with the 6-year-old, is that they're like here and there and there, but they're not like behind them or too far forward. They're just right here. And there is that many sounds. It was like I think, well, I forget which one of you guys was saying it before, but like it was Linda. She was talking about having to tune things out. I think we learn to tune things out because as a kid, we do hear it all. It's like you hear the squirrel, you hear the tree, you see the thing, and if we had to live our lives like that, we would get kind of exhausted. I think you have like the energy of a 6-year-old and like they can do it, but if you spend too much time around 6-year-olds, you get tired by the end of the day. It's kind of like, oh God, I can't keep up with your brain. But for us, I think it is really, it's good just to remember how that was. And because they do pick up so much, they see so much, and they can be so fully in the moment. And that's a really beautiful thing. And it's just another way to access it. We can go really quiet and deep and mindful, or we can just be playful and silly and and not think too much about anything. And so I just thought I would bring that again, because I was just sort of having fun boogieing yesterday, and I was like, oh yeah, play. Let's bring play. Why not? So yeah, Anyone else want to share before we head out? Any others? So yeah, Jackie and then Gabby and then Adela. I don't know if you were just moving towards your computer, but we'll start with Jackie.
Well, the light is so pretty right now, and there were all these birds out here. Usually, when I come out, they aren't. It takes a while for them to come around. And it's like they just were so happy out there. I got all the feeders cleaned over the weekend and set and more hummingbird nectar out there. And the rufus, I see it right now. And the light's coming through that reddish brown on it. It's just so wonderful. And then it just came right over and it was just sitting right above me and preening, and then just now it came. I thought maybe it would actually be in the screen that you could see it, because it was just, I think because I have this colorful top on, because I have a colorful hat that has pinks and stuff and reds, and they'll come up to it. So it was just magical. It's like just this little magical fairyland out here. So thanks so much for that. I just love it.
Yay! You got dressed up for it today. It was perfect. That's awesome. Thank you, Jackie. Sweet. All right, Gabrielle, go for it.
Well, I have been into this very serious crisis that I've been in because I got my computer hacked and it got into all my finances. And it just has been just hell for the last week or so. And it hit like at my core of my fears, of not having enough abundance and not having enough. So coming into that today, I knew I had to do this today. I just knew this was really important. And when I got into my 6-year-old, I just let go of all that crap that I've been dealing with. And the first thing I noticed were these 3 crows, and they seemed like a family, to my 6-year-old. And then I watched them for a while, and then one of them flew away, and then the other one flew away, and one of them stayed and was preening itself. And it was just like a story happening, or the magic that we've been talking about. And I was thinking about being a witch and, talking to the crows. And then I left that and I focused on, I have a really big wire that goes over the stream behind my house. And that's where the cormorants come and sit, and they're back. And there's just one. And that was the one I focused on in the beginning of this session. And so as the 6-year-old, I went to the cormorant and I'm like, it's just sitting there. It's not playing like the crows were. And so I pretended like I was walking a wire, like in the circus. And I went up to the cormorant, like, come on, play. And that cormorant just wanted to sit there, probably looking for fish. And so I got bored with that. And then I go, well, what else is there? And I started looking at the clouds. And that was one of my favorite things to do. I lived in Holland when I was 6, and we just had amazing clouds there. So I just imagined all these animals in the clouds and their interactions. There was even Santa Claus. And I was thinking, Anne, I think you and I need to do this book together. It's like, whoa. Anyway, I'm just in such a different place than when I came in to this. And I wanted to share this text that I got yesterday. I'm really into astrology. And this was the cosmic pulse for yesterday. And it said, sometimes we have to travel back in time, not to dwell there, but to reclaim parts of ourselves we left behind. And that was so perfect for today. So thank you.
That is so perfect. Very perfectly aligned. I love that. Thanks, Gabrielle. And yeah, thank you for your story on all levels. Appreciate that. And really grateful that you were able to play with the clouds and the crows. And I thought you were going to push the cormorant in the water. That's what I was imagining if I was six. I don't know if I actually would have done that, but maybe if I was more like a boy, I might have just tried to see if I could push it in. It's like, you're not playing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, there's one other serious thing in my life. I'm having some eyelid surgery on Thursday, and I would love any of your healing energy to help me through that. I know it's minor, but
Yeah.
next time I see you, I'll be wearing sunglasses because I'll be bruised.
Yeah, you
So,
bet, Gabrielle. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. I can definitely do that for you and whoever else wants to as well. We can definitely hold you in our thoughts. And I'll send you, actually, there's a beautiful, I went and had a procedure done a couple months ago and I was really scared about it. And and I found this meditation online that was just awesome. And so I listened to, I thought they were going to let me do it like during the procedure because I was going to stay awake for it. But they wouldn't let me have my headphones in there. But I listened to it beforehand and it just put me in this different place. And it's like, it's about a medical procedure. So it's really nice because they like acknowledge like, okay, and the doctors here, the nurses, and this is like, and so it just talks about like, kind of like walks you through it being a really positive and beautiful experience. So I'll
well,
find that and
love
I'll
that.
email it to you. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thank
It's
you.
wonderful. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Yeah. All right. Anybody else want to share before we go? Joy, please.
I feel very lighthearted now after that. So thank you very much. I am my 6-year-old self this morning, and over here I've got some quite wide grasses. So I'm going to pluck some of that and make a little whistle like I used to do to whistle. And I've got some, we used to call it goose grass. So I'm going to pull some of that up. We used to stick it all over our clothes and that. And I'm imagining my cousin on the top of the shed roof over there. I'm not quite brave enough to join him, but there's a tree that I'm going to climb afterwards. And it's a beautiful day here. It's cooler, so it's really nice. And what I always used to love to do and will again is go and lay down on the grass and just look at the clouds. I've got clouds here too. They're really wispy today, and actually they are bird feathers. So and some bird wings and some actual feathers. I can see them now. And then I shall probably get up and just, and I can't eat those mountain ash berries, but there might be some berries I could eat if I go into the woods at the back. So I think that's what I'll do next. So thank you. I feel
Yes.
very 6-year-old-ish now.
I'm so excited. I can't wait to hear about your adventure. That's awesome. Who knows where it's going to lead you? That's amazing. Oh, there was something else I was going to say when you were sharing that. What was it? Um, Something about, I can't remember. Anyway, rats. Well, I guess it wasn't meant to be shared. Thank you, Joy. It's really beautiful to hear what you're intending and your 6-year-old self. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Well, everybody, yeah, just see where this takes you. You know, I think it's such a simple, beautiful thing, and I think it can have some pretty profound implications, or just, yeah, it can be pretty deep, you know, and so gratitude to all the 6-year-olds out there for giving us and our own 6-year-old self, however, whatever her life was like. Let's just send some good love into our 6-year-old selves and honor them today. So thank you for joining, everybody. I hope you have a really beautiful week, and we will see you next time.
This was so
Thank
delightful.
you. Thank you very much. Yes, it
You're
was.
welcome. Love you guys.